my Taurus and Scorpio babies, what's happening? This is EJ from Taurota Tarot. This is Taurus and Scorpio sitting in a tree, Kissing. I have already shuffled and cut the cards up. Let me just say thank you to everybody that has liked, shared, and subscribed. To those of you that haven't, please feel free to do so. Please leave me comments. I read them all. We're on Facebook, Taurota Tarot 1. Check us out there. What else is happening? Got a full moon coming up this week. So, Taurus and Scorpio, y'all got some shit going on. I don't know. Saw the moon card while I was shuffling. Heartache and loss. And so here we go. So this is for the month of May. We did the last reading April 7th. Today is April 4th. So we're just a few days ahead of schedule. One of the two of you, I'm going to say Taurus because I think Scorpio does this naturally. Taurus, we kind of run on a different thing. It's not always intuition, but intuition. We need to be following our intuition when it comes to this relationship because there are things here for us to learn, Taurus. So, okay, out the gate, no, I'm talking to Taurus. Scorpio, if you cross watching, I'm sorry. That's all I can say at this point. There may be, for some of you, breaking up and getting back together. For others of you, it may be a permanent split. But right now, Taurus is in a different kind of place. So this is not going to resonate with everybody. As Grandma would say, eat the fish, leave the bones. A reminder that I do my cards straight up and don't do reverses. Yeah, what I feared. Yeah, Taurus is being still rather guarded. And I think that's a part of the problem. The overall energy for you, Taurus, with your Scorpio right now is you're feeling abundant. And some of you may be making some money moves. But you're also kind of in this place of, it says love begins, but the energy is more nostalgic than that. And it's almost like you feel like you've got one part of your life going on, but when it comes to this back here, you're hoping for it, but you're not, it's not catching for some reason with you, Taurus. Now, I don't know what's going on there, but you're feeling abundant, but when it comes to the love begins part, you're kind of not feeling so abundant. That's a weird energy. Let me stop here and say, Taurus, you feel like you like this person, who male, female, whoever I'm talking to, but you're not sure. You're not sure. You're not sure about a lot of things. What the fuck? You're guarded still, going through a transformation, and for some of you, by letting go, you may feel conflicted or defeated about the situation. You want to do, you're trying to have this material and spiritual prosperity, and sometimes it's hard, especially in this kind of energy where we are really operating in crisis mode, to have that perfect mix of energy where you got enough going on at work and enough going on at home. Getting a balance sometimes is elusive and you can't always catch it. And so you may be doing really good at work and you come home and this is hell to pay, or home might be really good and work is just a nightmare. So however that's resonating for you, the thing there, Taurus, is that you need to change your perspective and open up. And we go to the guarded card. What the hell? Open up. No, stop talking about what you can't do and start talking about what you can do. And kind of get into your light, if you will. because this is holding you back from some good shit. But I understand the feeling. A lot of you after last year, not that 2020 is any fucking better, but 2020 seems like it's more of everybody's going through the same shit. Last year just seems like there were a particular set of us going through a particular set of things, but everybody was going through some kind of thing, but at different times of the year. This is everybody right now. And you may be guarded because I just know a lot of you had bad situations last year. There were bad relationships, bad ending to relationships. Some of you had exes that were hanging on. You had to find some scissors and cut them loose. Last year was tough. Some of you, we can go all the way back to 2018. That was tough. So you were still in guarded mode. And Scorpio, if you're cross-watching this, we get this way not often. We're usually a little more open than many of us are right now. But when you hurt us, because Tauruses are so fucking loyal, man, down to the nth, this is how we get. And so it's nothing personal. I'm going to throw that out there. Talking to you, Scorpio, if you're cross-watching. But it is what it is. And while Taurus is trying to deal with this, Taurus is trying to deal with a lot of other things. And ours didn't just start with Corona. Ours started last May with Uranus. And so a lot of us, if you think of a bull is really good up until you get him to the edge of the water. And then after that, it's all bets off. Fuck it. No. Thank you, but no thanks. So understand this, and I'm beating up on this because it feels like a lot of you may not even realize you're being guarded. And so you feel like nothing's coming to you, but the reason is because you're not letting anything come to you. And I get it. I get it. Let's start at the beginning. So overall, you financially on the top, on the surface, and for a lot of you, yeah, you done got stimulus money, you done got tax refunds and some more shit, and so yeah, you up on top floating with the abundance, and the king of abundance. So not just a little bit, it's a lot of it. But when it comes to the love begins part, you want to feel that abundance there as well, but you're not feeling it there as much as you are in your purse or your wallet or your pocketbook or whatever you're rolling around with, your Cash App, whatever. You're not feeling it as much on the bottom as you are on the top. The back end of it is a Ten of Swords, and many of you may be just feeling just over fucking whelmed with everything going on. It may not even be any specific situation, or if it is a specific situation, it may be directly related to what's going on, and many of you need healing, period. I can't put that no other kind of way. You need healing. You need time. You need space, and not lockdown time and space, but the ability to go outside and wander around for a minute and kind of get your thoughts together, maybe meditate, sing a song, whatever. But right now you're just feeling overwhelmed, and that's understandable. Recent past energy, many of you up at night, and this is coming from not being grounded. Who knew? It's an air card. What the hell? Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. So this is the recent past. You may have been in a situation with an air sign or somebody that had a lot of air in their natal chart, and you just were not feeling grounded in the situation at all. That's the nature card. You just were just up at night trying to figure shit out. Then we get here. All that blue is that Scorpio, doggone it. New love, new love, new love. Do. Yeah, recent past. And so the feeling is very innocent. Taurus is like, okay, I'm going to try this. Still, and that. This is down here where it is. Only underneath it. It's no mistake. Don't get that part twisted. New love. New abundance of emotion. But in speaking it, because that's the throat chakra, but not feeling it. So communication, it did not have, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't the confident Taurus. This old girl here, she's about confidence. So if this were reversed, it wasn't confident communication coming from Taurus. Now, this could be true about Scorpio as well, but the feeling here is for relationships where Scorpio is all in. Taurus, not so much. And not for anything personal, but I think, again, a lot of things were said, but the confidence wasn't there. And Taurus, if you think Scorpio didn't notice, think again. They did. But Scorpio was hopeful that in time he would kind of come around. When we get to the current energy, dealing with self-discipline and how you're handling what you're feeling. And that's major energy. That's the Hermit card. And so many of you haven't been doing this. You have not taken any personal time out because all of this shit, and it has just kind of thrown you out of whack. And so you need to do this, Taurus. You need to figure out, in the middle of all of this chaos, some time for you, and not just the hour. This is maybe a couple Saturdays in a row, maybe this Saturday and maybe next Sunday, however that's resonating, so you can spend some time thinking things out. I think you've been saying one thing, doing another, and as the situation changes, you've been trying to catch up, catch on, do whatever. But you haven't really put any thought into, what is it? What direction do I want to go in? I know I'm not lost. I always say that about the Hermit. You got that light. So you know you're not lost, Taurus, but you don't feel like you had footing, firm foundation. That's what I'd have to say, because my feet are just twitchy over here. Firm foundation. You don't feel it. And so in order, you need to find some self-discipline in time management and get with this. And you're going to have to figure out how you're going to do it. Carve some time out. And I can feel and hear a lot of you saying, yeah, it's supposed to talk about taking some time. I need some time. Yes, you do. If you're feeling that way, you need to honor that and tell people to fuck off. And for you, Taurus, you know, you don't have to run with the crowd all the time. Sometimes you need to slow down and just do you. So this is a message. Take some time. You need this. There are questions you want answered. They're within you. Trying to navigate this relationship with the Scorpio. And if you don't do this, you may just be making decisions that you might later on regret. And it's not one way or the other. Getting in it, getting out of it. It will be individual to each of you, however that's resonating. But you need to take the time to think about what you're doing, especially those of you that are in Taurus Scorpio relationships that haven't been around that long. We'll put that there. Your challenge, Taurus, is to figure out, do you need to move on? Do you need to stop dwelling on the past and take a look at what you might have in front of you? That's your challenge. But just the fuck right there. This is what you'll be thinking about right here. The questions you ask right here will sort this shit out for you. Many of you, we don't even need this. Many of you are just with the original Five of Cups meaning. Fuck it, misery, crying over spilled milk, questioning yourself, decisions, but fuck it. Many of you are right here. You're not even, fuck all that. You're right here. You're ready to go. And before you head out the door without your coat, your hat, and your mask on, I'm just saying, the sense here that I get from this card is that he's hesitating. I don't always get this energy off of this card. Usually it's to be hurry up and get the fuck out. This is not what I'm feeling from this card right now. He's hesitating. He's hesitating, almost as if putting his finger out the window and trying to see which way the wind going. He's hesitating. There's a sense of hesitation here. I'm going to say the universe, don't hide that part. The universe has gift for you. But you're going to have to let go of some things, some beliefs, some emotional baggage, that's cups. And for some of you, this may be your Scorpio holding on to old shit, which is making you feel like you need to move on. There's a conversation that may need to be had between the two of you. And not just from one side, but from both sides. That's your challenge. That's your challenge for the month. This is not going to be an easy month, Taurus. I don't care who you with. Aquarius, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra. It's not going to be an easy month. You're going to have to, this right here, you're going to have to get with this. You're going to have to deal with those questions you have in the back of your head. You're going to have to bring them out. Whatever fears you have. I just did the Taurus Weekly. The moon card popped up. You're going to have to pull all that shit out the closet. I know. I hear you yelling and clicking and switching and swiping left and right. I hear you. You're going to have to do this though. And it seems like in the last year or so, we get here a lot with this thinking. But remember, at the bottom of all of this, Uranus is in Taurus, in case you forgot. So there are emotions that you may be feeling, and you know what they are, but in context to what you're dealing with, you may not be putting them in the right place, which is why it's imperative. Ooh. And in that, you may find that you need to apply some self-discipline somewhere. You may need to, it may be more than time management. It might be money management that you need to find some self-discipline in that's causing problems and causing your perspective to be all jacked up in other areas. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing all this shit out there. It could be a family relationship. You may be having a difficult time with a mother, brother, sister, aunt, cousin, I don't know. And you may need to rein in what you're doing and get some self-discipline going so that you're not hanging out with the wrong folks all the time. Just saying, letting spirit talk. However that's resonating for you. You may need to focus, bring it back. And if you're trying to keep this relationship with your Scorpio, some of you don't even know if you want to. Some of you don't even know if you want to keep the relationship. So, like I said, many of you are right here. You're not even the Five of Cups bucket. I'm out the door. But like I said, there's a sense of hesitation here. Looking at him, I just feel like he's not stepped over that threshold just yet. For good reason. Something to think about. Definitely questions, conversations that need to be had. At the end of all of this, when I see this card, this numerology deck is something else. I'm a musician, so when I see music, I go straight to all kind of stuff, jazz, Latin, whatever. But when I see it, and so far when it's come up, it's only come up maybe in 3 or 4 other readings that I've done, it's been about being harmonious and harmony and not being wishy-washy. Feels like a lot of y'all are being wishy-washy with this relationship. 1 minute you're in, 5 minutes later you're out, next day you're in, next week you're out. And that, you may think it's just how you're feeling, but I promise you, you're projecting that energy out. I don't feel like in any shape, form, or fashion, and this is for whoever it's resonating to, that the Scorpio is equivocating on this relationship. They want to go full speed ahead. Some of them may not want to move as fast as others, but they're still trying to move ahead. And towards you, again, today we in, tomorrow we out. Saturday we in, Tuesday we out. And it's back and forth. And like I say, if it's on the board, it's in play. A lot of y'all up at night trying to answer questions. Still. That relationship might have you up because you may be comparing the two. You may be going back to an old relationship, and like I said, whoever this is that had you ungrounded with all the air in their chart, if they are on the air sign, that might have you up. And you may be comparing what you thought you could have had here versus what you think you don't have here. I'm just saying. This energy is getting thrown out. Scorpio feels it. If you don't feel it, they do. So you've got to bring it. You got to bring some music to this. You got to bring some harmony to it. If you keep doing this, you don't get this. It's just that simple. If you don't, in any situation, if you're going to be wishy-washy, you're going to get a wishy-washy kind of song. I'm just saying, it might be in key, it might not be in key. Future energy, by changing your perspective. Once you change your perspective, but not only changing your perspective, changing your approach. And this is major energy, so I gotta tell you all of it. How you look at it, how you feel about it. You have to change how you look at it first before you change how you feel about it. But you're gonna have to change in order to see this in this relationship. Now, some of you may walk away, and for whatever, it'll just be what it is, and you'll move on to something else. Others of you, if you're trying to stay in this situation, you're gonna have to change your perspective. For some of you, you may be dealing with blended families. You may have kids, they have kids, and there's just, there's that word again, discordant. Discordant. Off keys are all mishmashed up. You know how you sit down, don't know how to play the piano, and you just hit all the keys. Yeah, that right there. In order to have this, you may have to change this. Again, if you walk away from a situation, it's a moot point. It just is what it is. You're gonna have to let your guard down in order to stand up in the sun of this relationship. I mean, and that goes without saying. And you can just go from the Ace of Coin and Five of Cups and the Four of Coin. What the hell else? You can. You can. Don't think that you can't. You can. You can change your perspective. You can let your guard down. I think a lot of you are afraid that if you let your guard down, you're going to get hurt again. There's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. And if you don't know that now, let me just remind you, January 1st, we knew 2020 was going to be better. There are no guarantees. There just aren't. So you can do this. Let your guard down. Maybe adjust how you're thinking about the situation. Some of you may need to let go of the contrast and comparison and just deal with what you have in front of you. I'm just saying, at the end of all of this, the transformation, if you choose to take it, will pull you out of this conflicted and defeated thing that you're feeling. Because a lot of you are feeling this. You're just feeling like, the fuck, I can't get manifest shit right. Damn it. 2 over here right, but the rest of the other 8 are just wrong. Hey. The transformation. And we're in this. And if I'm not mistaken, Death card is related to Scorpio. So it's all, again, about transformation. So that you're not feeling the conflict and defeat of everything. Because when I'm looking at this and when I'm just holding this card, I can just feel, you've been through fog, and you just kind of feel the fog from the other side of the city and your fog, and it's all just foggy. Anybody on the West Coast, anybody in New York City, you know when it gets real hot, it just, you could just like feel the heat from the Bronx, and you in Queens like, Jesus, please, we get a break. This is how this feels. Like you're just schlepping a lot of old pain, old conflict, old defeat, old breakups, old bullshit. You're just schlepping it around all over the place. And again, that brings me right back here. We need to take this minute. And for some of you, it may just be about getting the self-discipline to spend some time by yourself, thinking about what's going to be good for you. And the answer is not obvious. It's not going to be clear, because especially if you're doing this, The waffling back and forth. Oh, I'm thinking maybe in today, but tomorrow, no, fuck it, I'm not doing it. Dwelling on shit, old shit. You know, even in this current situation, there may be things that are going on, and you're just dwelling on the negative, and you're not looking. It was right there next to you, just not looking at it. You're changing. You're changing. So you don't have to stay feeling like you're conflicted and defeated. You can chart your own course. If this is what you want, Taurus, if this is what you want, you can have it. And you can have it the way you want to have it. But you may have to spend some time by yourself, with yourself. And when I say by yourself, I don't mean with everybody else in the world calling you, texting you, Instagramming, TikToking, Facebooking, whatever. I mean by yourself. Phone off. Phone off. And you don't necessarily have to journal, but just some time for you. Just some time for you so you can see what's going on around you. For those of you that are in situations where you may be still kicking it around with said other person from the past, I want to look at why you still hanging on to the past. If you let it go, why you still hanging on? If they let it go, why you hanging on? And some of you may be thinking you want to go back to that. Or maybe not even that, but maybe another person in your past. Think about it. Think about it. Things end for a reason. Things do break up and come back together. But I just feel like a lot of you let something go, and you let it go for good reason. And it might look just like toys with kids. You know, something they ain't played with in 6 months. Ooh, brand new, old shiny, yeah. And they're good for about 5 minutes, and then it's back in the corner. Same concept here. Same concept here. Let's see what the granny cards got. Well, there you go. What's more important? Pick up where I left off. Something from the past or something right now. And that answer is not going to be the same for everybody. So don't just think because I'm sitting up here pushing it down your throat, you know, it's got to be working with the Scorpio. No, that might not be what's right for you. But you need to get it clear in your head. You need to think about what's more important. The relationship with Scorpio, your relationship with yourself. Do you need to work on yourself? Is that more important? This came up in the last reading. Don't believe what you hear. And so there may be people around you trying to tell you, sway you one way or the other. Girl, you know, I told you he wasn't good in the first place. Don't believe everything that you hear, and don't buy into everything that anybody's telling you. And conversely, oh, he could be the man. He just look like the man in your dreams. Oh, she looked like the girl you wanted all your. Yeah, don't believe everything you hear. You figure that part out for yourself. And either way, yes or no, they're waiting on you, Taurus. They're waiting on you to say something. Yes or no, or, you know, we're going to keep going or whatever. They're waiting on you. Just put that out there. Cards don't lie. They truly don't. Is that 3 cards? Yeah, that's 3. So what's more important? Don't believe what people are saying to you. Even the best intentioned people don't really understand this process for you, Taurus. This is quite individual to you. And they're waiting on you. Scorpio is waiting on you. Poke yourself in light. You got negative people or just people trying to put their input in for whatever reason. Cloak yourself in light so that you're not schlepping around somebody else's negative attitude. There again, talking about the hangman, changing your perspective. You may have to change a lot of things if you're going to do this with your Scorpio. Walk it off. Walk it off. There's that hermit, damn it. Feelings you can't sort out, can't figure out, walk it off. Next. Does anything else? I mean, what else can you say behind that besides meditate? And that's exactly what you should do, Taurus. That's exactly what you should do. It feels like a lot of you, by the time we get to the end of the month, whatever decision you're going to make about your relationship with your Scorpio, you will have made it at that point. Again, it could go either way. It depends on, for a lot of you, just a certain situation, circumstances, what you want to get into, what you don't think you want to get into. Many of you are going to move past this relationship. And it's no ill will towards the Scorpio, but you may be growing faster than you know. And so this situation might feel okay right now, which may be why you're kind of guarded and hedging your bets. But you know you've been changing a lot, and you don't want to tie yourself up into something and you change again in 6 months because you got all this transformation. Add coronavirus in there just for good measure. You know, you don't know what you're going to, a lot of you just feel like you don't know what you're going to be doing next year and don't want to commit or tie yourself down. But there's a tinge of that, you know, are you sure you want to walk away from this? Taurus, Scorpio, I love y'all. I hope y'all have a good rest of the week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.